Number 6 is that I've learned that diversity, and I've been told that, is much more than numbers. Diversity is bigger than employment numbers of equity groups, members. It's about capitalizing on the richness that you get from different and new perspective, whether they're based in generational, gender, geographic, cultural, and ethnic representation. When I went to Toronto, I sat down with people. 70% of the people around the table were visible minorities. And we were discussing, you know, I shouldn't say we. I said, you know, part of the renewal of the public service requires that we recruit. So one of the person in the group said, well, here we, like, in Toronto, we have no problem, there should be no problems with recruitment because there are many, many communities that can provide the kind of people that you need for the public service, and it's right. But often we say we sit in Ottawa or elsewhere, and we say, well, how are we going to recruit, or how are we going to find the people? Well, maybe we should outreach a little bit more with the communities that, in fact, can provide us with many of the people. The number 7 is the creativity and innovation must be liberated. There's certainly no shortage of creativity when you take the time to listen to people. In BC, the Passport Office has created a language tree. What it is that they identify people with different language skills. I mean, they know different languages. And when somebody comes in the door, a new immigrant or somebody else, they often can match the language of the client with the language of one of their employees. Well, the comments that they've received from people are just tremendous. I mean, you know, like that is the sign of really an accommodating country. The other example in Quebec is about proactive bilingualism. Some people might not think that this is, but next week will be participating with the Commissioner of Official Languages on a panel, and I want to make that idea, you know, something that he should be looking at, is that it's called proactive bilingualism because it involves people meeting in a room but speaking the language that they're comfortable in, and everybody understanding the other one but answering in the language that they want. So it works, huh? And in Quebec particularly, it works because they prefer, a lot of the people understand English, they prefer that people speak their languages in which they're comfortable, so they can make their case or they can articulate better than they would in the other language. So these are things that are being done, and you know, like we don't need frameworks to do that. I mean, we just do it because it's the more functional thing to do. 9, technology is an essential component. It's a marvelous tool, especially when you want to share practices in a big organization, or also it's an excellent tool for learning and generating ideas from what you've seen. But, and I've added, number 10, I've decided to change it, but technology cannot, it's not added, I have it in there, but I just added, but technology cannot replace personal connection. Personal connection was what I had as a 10 lesson. And people I met really stressed how important it is for outreach to happen. And by outreach, they meant, you know, people coming and visiting and speaking with people, senior public servants and other public servants. And the comments that I received from my conversations with people were very positive, because people felt that it had a lot to do with my going out and listening and talking with people. And they were encouraging people to do that, to get out of their own place and come and visit, not just to speak to people or to, you know, spread the gospel, but really to interact with people. The practices that we collected, or that, I mean, Eleanor King here is the person who has helped me with all that, because I don't, you know, like this was not a big staffed organization. A couple of other people have helped as well. But I think that the practices collected are and will serve our managers and senior managers in some of the areas. Some of the practices are very simple. Others are complex, but they're frankly are like a good recipe. Yeah, they've been tried, and they seem to be getting results, but they're recognized to be working. So I've been meeting with a lot of my colleagues. I've met with the heads of federal agencies, which are the crown corporations and in the government. I've met with new ADMs, new director generals. And, you know, some people had the practices and they said, well, we didn't know that we actually did that. It was like kind of an aha moment. There's been a lot of reports done by other people, you know, more competent than I. But the thing is, I think that what my wish is that, and that I have, you know, like many people that are supporting this, that it remains a living document and we continue to add to it so we can share those practices. So that's what I do in my spare time, what I've done. I have obviously two full-time jobs. I'm chair of a crown corporation and I'm deputy minister federally. So, but this is something which, as Michelle mentioned, is very close to my heart, and I happen to truly believe that people really make a difference. And at the center, in the conversation we just had before, I do think that there is some thinking being done on these issues of how people, in fact, interact and how people are willing to share. And I'd like to entertain questions, I mean, on what I've been doing, and if you have some suggestions for me. I don't think that I will undertake another one like that because it is tiring when you do it, but it's been real fun and I've learned a lot of stuff. So thank you very much.